Reb Zone Sports Show, only on Fox 5.
Good evening and welcome inside the Reb Zone. UNLV is going bowling for the first time since the year 2000. Kevin Bollier alongside Rebel head football coach Bobby Houck, and congratulations. I know that was the goal coming in, one of them, and knocked off it once again.
Yeah, thanks, Kevin. It's fun, obviously exciting. Like you and I spoke, it's fun to be talking about all the different bowl scenarios this time of year, and having Rebel football relevant in the month of November is kind of a cool deal.
Well, you guys have certainly earned it, and you had to earn it in the cold weather because there wasn't just a chill in the air at Air Force on Thursday night. The Rebels brought a confidence and a determination to this game right from the very beginning.
It don't matter what the weather is like, boys. Yes, sir. Let's go. Play hard regardless. Let's go. What? Feels like home. They're trying to take us out of our element. Trying to say that city boys can't do what it do. Ready? Now let's get it. Let's go. Win on me. Win on three. 1, 2, 3.
The Rebels embraced the freeze right from pregame, and it was clear right away that UNLV wasn't going to let -6 wind chill keep them from win number 6. The defense set the tone on the first series, shutting down the Falcons. On the Air Force punt, Trent Legum busts through the middle and gets the block. The Rebels were in business on the Falcon 30. 2 plays later, Tim Cornette goes up the gut and untouched, 22 yards for the score. The point after was blocked, but UNLV was still up 6-0 just 3 minutes into the game. The defense continued to swarm and give Air Force nothing. And later in the first, UNLV started another drive. Caleb Herring to Devonte Davis for 18 yards, and a late hit out of bounds gets 15 more and takes out UNLV baseball coach Tim Chambers on the sideline, who says he's got skills of his own.
Well, I got the feet out the ground, so I didn't get hurt. You know, that's what it is. I got him up, put the hands down. It's kind of like a burpee, you know, like that. Like that, I got back up. Here we go.
That was the Rebel spirit, and the first half domination continued. Later in the drive, Herring rushes up to the line, takes the snap, and drives into the end zone. It was 13-0. On the Falcons' next possession, the bad pitch on the option, and Tim Hassan is there to scoop it up near midfield. Herring marched UNLV down the field, then fakes to Cornette and keeps it himself around the end, 6 yards. That makes it 20-0 at the end of the first quarter. UNLV began the second with a 13-play, 63-yard drive, with Cornette carrying the load and finishing things off with this 7-yard touchdown score. The Rebels were beating the Falcons on both sides of the ball, pushing the lead to 27-0. UNLV tried to pour it on with an onside kick that would have worked, but the slick field let the ball go out of bounds. That led to an Air Force touchdown, but Cornette went right back to work and pounds it in for his 3rd score of the game. The weather seemed to impact Air Force much more than the Rebels, who grabbed the game by the throat and went into the locker room with a 33-14 lead.
Well, we all knew that it was cold out there. It's the coldest game in UNLV history. You said it's the coldest game that you've been involved in as a coach. How did that change the game plan coming in once you knew, because it was 50 degrees the day before, and then as the day progressed on Thursday, we knew it was going to be really bad?
Well, obviously we can't simulate the cold here in Vegas. It was probably 75 on our practice field on Wednesday when we worked out. But we practiced with wet footballs all week last week in certain team periods to make sure our guys were ready to catch the wet balls and throw them and field them and snap them and everything else. And then basically we have a tough, mentally tough football team. That's how we prepared the best. And so a lot of that, being able to overcome it, being the first UNLV football team since 1980 to win a game that was below freezing is something that was told after the game, which is just really incredible to me. But our guys did a nice job fighting through it and probably handled it as well as anyone could have hoped.
Your defense really set the tone and stepped up on that first Falcon possession, and they really kept the momentum for the full 60 minutes. Your front was phenomenal.
Yeah, the defense played well. We played, we ran the ball when we needed to. One of the things that was a little bit unnerving going into the game was knowing that with the weather conditions being as bad as they were, that we may have to try to outrush one of the leading rushing teams in the nation. And that credit goes to both. We did it by over 100 yards. Credit goes to our offense and our defense for both sides of that thing. And we actually threw it pretty well. Caleb was good with the football, and the guys caught it when it was thrown to him. And I think we only had 3 incompletions on the day.
Well, what can you say about Tim Cornette? In the first half alone, 133 yards, 3 TDs. He's the workhorse of those running backs, and when you needed him to step up, he really ran hard.
Well, he ran hard, and he has in recent weeks really hard. And he was just a dang beast on Thursday night, and it's fun to watch the highlights and see him go. But he had a great night, career highs in really rough conditions. And that's a tribute to the guys up front of him too. They were doing a good job, and there was a lot of room to run, but there were times when there wasn't, and he made something out of it. And I was just really impressed with his effort. You
had a big lead at halftime. When you went into the locker room, what was the message to the team, knowing that they were going to warm up here for about 10 minutes and then go back out into the cold as well?
Well, 30 minutes to go and 30 minutes to a bowl bid and all those different things that go along with it, and beating Air Force on their home field for only the second time in school history and the first time since 2001. Some real milestones this season, that being one of them. And, Air Force is hard to beat. Just teams that run that style of offense. Just ask the University of Florida today how hard those teams that run that type of offense are. And then to couple that, in terms of our defense, we had 7 key contributors that were guys who played marquee roles in our defense at the start of the season, didn't play in that game. And so for us to go shorthanded and guys to step up that hadn't played any snaps, Mark Philippi being one on the season, to come in and play so well, I was just really proud of him.
Well, the weather turned colder as we reached the second half. The Rebels were only 30 minutes away from bowl eligibility.
The Rebels had the ball to start the second half and burned more than 6 minutes off the clock, driving down to the 12, but Nolan Cohor's field goal attempt was wide left. Air Force took the ball and got back in the game with a touchdown to cut the score to 33-21 with just over 5 minutes left in the third. UNLV held the ball for the rest of the quarter as Cornette continued to run hard and passed the 1,000-yard mark on the season. And on this catch by Devonte Davis, he passed 1,000 receiving yards on the season. It's the first time in history UNLV has had a 1,000-yard receiver and rusher in the same year. But on the 1-yard line at the start of the fourth, Shaq Murray-Lawrence fumbled the ball and the Falcons recovered. The Rebel defense, though, answered the call again, forcing a 3-and-out and continued to shut down Air Force on every drive after that. Cornette iced it with this 46-yard touchdown run to seal the deal. Despite it being 17 below zero with wind chill, the Rebels gave Coach Houck a bath anyways. The celebration was on. UNLV is bowl eligible for the first time since 2000 after a convincing 41-21 win.
Game over, it's cold. Where with the Rebels of victory today? Where with the Rebels of scarlet? From mountains around you to all across the sea. We'll win with the Rebels of UNLV. UNLV, go fight with. Go see Pooch tomorrow. We're getting sized up for our bowling shoes. Hell might have just frozen over. The Rebels are bowl eligible.
It was like years of frustration being let out after that game. You could really see how much it meant to every single person with that team.
Yeah, a few hearty souls there at the end. I think everybody's jaws were frozen. They couldn't sing the fight song. But it like you said, 17 below wind chill. It was brutally cold, and appreciate those guys giving me pneumonia and all that. But those are all good things. It's been almost 15 years since UNLV was in a bowl game, and there is some pent-up frustration with that. So we're kind of on the map a little bit, and it's taken some doing, and I'm just really proud of our seniors and the older guys in our team to kind of believing in it and sticking with it. And great job by our assistant coaches with the game plan on Thursday night, and just kind of fired up to be a part of it.
All right, well, up next, we're going to have players' reaction to Thursday night's big win, and we begin our look ahead with a preview of Saturday night's regular season finale against San Diego State. All that and more as the Reb Zone rolls on.
You're watching the Reb Zone Sports Show on Fox 5.
we needed to win. Like, we didn't want to go into the last game being 5-6 and knowing we have to pull out that game and stuff like that. We wanted to go into the last game like having a bowl bid under our belt and then be playing for like bowl position.
We knew that we had good things coming for us, and we hung in there tough, and this is where we are now. I mean, there's not much more you can say. We put the work in, and now we're reaping the benefits.
Those are two seniors. You have a core group of seniors. There's not a lot of them on this team, but these are the guys that helped build the foundation that you have built here at UNLV. For them to get the reward of going to a bowl game now, obviously has to be rewarding for you to see as well.
Yeah, it's big, big for them and big for me to get to see them do it. You know, I've been doing this a while and had the chance to coach in a bunch of bowl games and postseason games, and I'm really excited to watch our guys experience that because they deserve it. They've worked hard, and you know, we just listened to the only two senior starters on our offense talk about it, and it's important to our guys, and we're going to enjoy the heck out of this next month.
Well, we got one more regular season to go. Up next for the Rebels, UNLV going for win number 7 in the final regular season game of the year. And it's a showdown with rival San Diego State Saturday night at 7:30 over at Sam Boyd Stadium. And the Aztecs are coming in on a roll.
San Diego State is one of the hottest teams in the country. Since losing their first 3 games of the season, the Aztecs have won 7 of their last 8, including last night's come-from-behind win over Boise State in overtime. SDSU has rallied for most of those wins late, which means no lead will be safe. The Aztecs run a balanced offense, averaging 264 yards passing and 166 yards rushing. Defensively, they're giving up 31 points a game, so there will be opportunities to score. One area that has plagued the Aztecs is kicking, where missed field goals and extra points have been a common occurrence, so much so that San Diego State is inclined to go for it on 4th down more often on opponent's side of the field. Head coach Rocky Long knows about playing UNLV as a longtime coach at New Mexico before coming to San Diego. This game is just as important for San Diego State as UNLV. With a win, the Aztecs could finish 8-4 and might be playing for a spot in their hometown bowl on December 26th. This should be a tight, entertaining game that goes down to the wire.
Well, we know this team is hot coming down. What is the frame of mind as you go into play a San Diego State team that has shown that they can come back and win games no matter what the deficit?
Yeah, they've had an interesting year. You know, 4 overtime games and starting 0-3 and then winning 7 of 8. We've had good games with them the past couple of years and know them very well. They know us. It should be a really good football game out at Sam Boyd Saturday night.
We've talked a lot throughout the season about taking advantage of red zone opportunities. San Diego State's defense is the worst red zone defense in the country. That's certainly going to play a factor on Saturday. Yeah,
the interesting thing about them is getting down there is the hard part. They do some things that are unusual on defense. I don't really know how else to describe it. Rocky's been running that defense for many years, and it's created problems for a lot of people. If you watched the Boise game last night, you can see Boise really struggle with the pressure part of it. And San Diego State's got a good team speed. They cover pretty well. They've got good speed at the running back and wide receiver positions, and they're kind of hitting on all cylinders right now.
Well, let's hope the crowd shows up. Rebellion out there. We know you like to compare yourself to San Diego State. Those students are showing up for football and basketball, so hopefully they won't be a one-trick pony. Get out to the football game on Saturday night. Straight ahead, we're going to have a closer look at Rebel wide receiver Devonte Davis and the monster season that he's putting up. Plus, a look back at the Running Rebels' loss to Arizona State on the basketball floor. Hear what the team had to say as they get ready for another important week. We're back in just 2 minutes.
This Raising the Bar moment is brought to you by Born and Raised, the official home of Rebels on the Road.
The Rebels show no signs of the frigid cold affecting them on Thursday night at Air Force, and running back Tim Cornette set the tone early. This 22-yard touchdown run on UNLV's first possession was one of 4 Cornette scores on the night that included a career-high 220 yards. Cornette continues to elevate standards of excellence and delivers this week's Raising the Bar moment.
Well, there have been a lot of standouts on this year's Rebel football team, and included on that list, wide receiver Devonte Davis, who has come up huge every week.
Devonte Davis is having the type of season that is turning heads nationwide. The junior wide receiver continues to make spectacular catches for big yards and big touchdowns. Enough so that he was added to the watch list for the Bolitnikoff Award, given to the country's best receiver. Thursday night against Air Force, Davis passed the 1,000-yard mark for the season on this catch, only the 7th Rebel to do that in history. Davis has been able to go up and get balls that other receivers can't.
When it comes to me, I just want to make sure I go get it no matter where it's at.
That ability has helped quarterback Caleb Herring, who can put a ball in a spot and know that it will either be a reception or an incompletion, not an interception.
He's a smart enough football player to understand when it's time to become a defender to prevent a turnover. So knowing that helps me to give him those chances to go and make those great catches.
At 6'3", Davis often poses matchup problems for defensive backs, making him not only a big play receiver, but a possession receiver.
It's a luxury. He's definitely a big target. You know, he's been making plays, and hopefully that continues.
A Texas State high school champion in the triple jump, Davis was also a football teammate of Rebel running back Tim Cornette at North Shore High School in Houston. Cornette is 1 year older and has had a major influence on Davis.
He kind of showed me the ropes and helped me like get around here, and, you know, taught me everything and showed me the importance of practice and taught me how to watch film a lot more, and she's been a great mentor since I've been here.
Davis has been an integral part of the Rebel turnaround and wants nothing more than getting to a bowl game.
To make plays to help our team win, that's my goal. Every day I come out here and practice and play, and for it to start showing on the field, it's great.
All right, let's turn our attention to the Runnin' Rebels, who have a pair of games this week, including a crucial resume builder on Tuesday night when Illinois is at the Thomas & Mack. It'll be UNLV's first game since their disappointing loss to Arizona State.
For the first time this season, the atmosphere was electric in the Thomas & Mack as Arizona State rolled in. As expected, this was a fast-paced game. UNLV in transition and the slam by Roscoe Smith. Then watch Bryce DeJean Jones make the move and throw it down. The dunk fest continued with Kem Birch getting in on the action. Just before the half, DeVille Smith getting the rebound. He beats the buzzer, and the Runnin' Rebels led 38-34 at the break. The second half buzz started by BDJ. The drive and the flush. He had 13 points. When Kevin Olakebe hit this three, UNLV led by 7 with 13.5 minutes left. But Arizona State's Jahi Carson was unstoppable, hitting from everywhere on the floor, pouring in 40 points and single-handedly taking the game over as the Sun Devils left town with an 86-80 win.
We just made a few too many mistakes down the stretch. It was a even game or one possession game. We just had a few too many mental mistakes.
I feel we got tired, and I feel like we got a little intimidated by their point guard, but I think we can do better next time.
I definitely felt like I could get to the basket, and I was feeling confident. And, I started hitting jumpers, and my teammates started to feed off of us, and we all just came together and got the victory.
All right, we're not done yet. Coming up, some final thoughts from Coach Houck and the Rebel Plays of the Week. But first, here's a look at how other Mountain West football teams did over the weekend.
You're watching the Reb Zone Sports Show on Fox 5.
A lot of excitement, obviously, around Southern Nevada as the Rebels clinched their first bowl appearance since 2000. And this week is important because you have a chance to upgrade, but also get the above 500 record, which is important.
Yeah, since we were 5-3 a while back, we've been fighting to get the 6th win, and it's good to have it and be 6-5. And obviously, anytime you play a conference game, it's a big game, and San Diego State's one that is important to all of us. And Thanksgiving weekend, kind of synonymous with football in this country, and we're glad to be part of it.
Nothing wrong with being greedy and going after extra wins after clinching it.
Nothing wrong with that at all, Kevin.
And then we'll see where the bowl picture plays out. December 8th is the day that the Rebels will officially find out which bowl they're going to and who they're going to play. That, of course, comes after the Mountain West Championship game the night of December 7th and the big BCS show. And we'll keep an eye on Fresno State as well because that can have a trickle-down effect. Thank you so much for joining us inside the Reb Zone. We leave you tonight with a look at the Bowl-bound Rebels Plays of the Week. Good night.
Tonight is the night, we'll fight till it's over, so we put our hands up like this.